talk about.
It's quite poor. Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Ian, and if this is the first time that you've been here, my channel's all about music and art. And this is the final video. This is video 7 in a series of videos that I've been doing about the Korg Opsix altered FM synthesizer. Now, I have to say, this instrument was loaned to me by Korg, and it'll be going back to them after I finish with it. And I've been on a bit of a journey with it, really. And what I thought I'd do in this last video is just give you my final thoughts and an overview. I'm not going to do a full review. I did say I was going to do a full review of it, but actually there's loads of really good reviews out there. So and I'll put a couple of them that I think are particularly good in the comments down in the description down below. So I'm not going to do that really, but just to give you my final thoughts of the whole process. So if you haven't watched them, all of the other videos are linked down below. We started with a first look, and that's me really not reading any instructions and just fumbling my way through it. We then went on the journey of updating the firmware, and we did have some issues with doing that via a new M1 Mac Mini. In fact, we couldn't do it. We had to do it with my old laptop. We then looked at the Korg Sound Librarian. Now, I think there is some issues there with the Librarian. It won't work currently with a M1 Mac Mini under Big Sur. It may run under previous Apple computers under Big Sur. Don't know, and if you do know, it'd be great if you could pop that in the comments down below to let me know. But I felt that and I'm sure the Korg guys are working on improving that so that it will work with the M1 Mac Minis. But I felt the big own goal was it not being able to take standard sysx files and then import them. And I did go through the process of how we do that. So you end up having to use another piece of software, which was sysx librarian. So you have to use sysx librarian, which does work under the M1 Mac. And ironically, I couldn't get it to work on my laptop, but I suspect I probably needed an earlier version of that software. And that software is free to download. It's also worth mentioning that I don't work on Windows computers, so if you're a Windows user, sorry about that, but I can't help you because it's been years since I've used a Windows computer. So, and I think that was a bit of an own goal from the sound librarian, the Korg sound librarian point of view, that it should have been able to do all of that sort of importing of sysx files onto the machine rather than having it being two separate pieces of software to do that. I have to say is that, once you get it working, certainly using the sysx librarian is a very easy piece of software to use, as is the Korg sound librarian. I will be feeding this back to Korg, so maybe the guys, maybe they're working on it already. And then what we did is we did some comparisons with original DX7 files against how the Opsix manipulated. Now I've said this before in other videos, but it's a completely different FM sound engine. So we didn't expect it to be 100% the same. But clearly the way that this instrument is the way this instrument is malleable is just absolutely fantastic, in the fact that we can take whatever the sound is and we can change it quite easily. And you need to spend I didn't spend hours and hours on this. I watched a very simple tutorial from Korg themselves, and I'll link that down below, about how the basics of FM, because I have been avoiding it for 30 years. And that, once I'd got round the understanding of the operators and the carriers and the modulator paradigm and the way that the Opsix manages that, and it clearly is a huge difference. And I mean, here's a guy that isn't used to using FM, and I have owned a couple of DX7s, but all I ever did was use the presets and stick them through an effects processor, which is, I believe, what an awful lot of people did. So the way that the Opsix manages FM, and it will do other things. It's not just an FM synthesizer, and I haven't covered any of the other stuff that it will do. I think it's really quite an exceptional piece of work, really. After you do the DX7 patches, I then took Brian Eno's patches, and there was 4 of those which we sexed them across, and then I just played with them, and that was really quite an eye-opener for me. And I've got some pieces of music there that may end up on an album. I can see me having to buy one of these to do that sort of thing, because to do that sort of soundscapey stuff that I do in some of my music was actually very, very easy to do on the Opsix. So it has massive potential in that respect. I am completely blown away with it, actually. I didn't expect to be, right at the beginning of this process. I was thinking, oh, it's FM, and that was part of the conversation I'd had with the Korg guys. I said, oh, never a fan of FM, and I am a convert, and I'm quite sad to see it go back. In addition to that, if you are interested, as I said in the first video, full disclosure, my company, Sinners Music, is a Korg dealer. And they have sent me this on loan. It's not a freebie. It's, like I say, it's going back. And the caveat is that I literally can say what I like about it. So if I didn't like it, I would say to it. And I've said that what I don't like about the sound librarian, but that may be improved at some point in the future. There is a little thing, the little niggle, and it's the only niggle that I've really come across. And that is to say that where we've got a tap tempo on here, I would like to see a knob which will speed up and slow down the arpeggiator and the sequencer, rather than having to dive into menus. It's only a couple of clicks to get into those menus, and if you watch the last video in particular, you'll see me do that. But actually, I think that it would be much better to have one of these controls up here being able to do that. Now, maybe that's something they can do in firmware. It would be nice if it was not all of the parameters use all of these data encoders. Maybe one of those could manage speed of the arpeggiator. And I don't know, but that's my only real niggle. That's my only real niggle with it, but I didn't expect to really like it as much as I do, and I'll be quite sad to see it go. And I will be playing with it a bit more before I actually send it back and do some recording with it. As I was saying, Sinners Music do sell Korg products, so there is an extra discount available if you're interested in buying the Opsix or any of the Korg products. You need to put Sin 6 when you check out from our web shop. Now it's only going to be on our web shop, it's not going to be on our Amazon, but you can get extra discount, extra savings if you wanted to buy this or any of the other Korg products that we sell, and we do most of the Korg products. So we do the Kronos, we've got the Kronos sat here, and you know, the mini Korgs and all of the regular synthesizers, and there are other things as well. So Sin 6 is the code to remember, and I'll put the web address as we speak now, so it should be scrolling along the bottom there. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this whole series. It has been a journey, and I'll see you in the next video. So thanks very much. Cheers now. Bye bye.